Joining us now on the Megacast is Jeffrey Miles. He is the Senior Director of Economic Mobility and Social Navigation with the United Way for Southeastern Michigan. Jeffrey, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Appreciate having you on. For those that may not be familiar with the United Way for Southeastern Michigan, tell us a little bit about your organization and the people that it serves here in this area of the state.
Yeah, absolutely. We are a multi-county agency really focused on helping connect families to the supports and services that they need. We run the 211 helpline. So if you have any issues, you can always dial 211, get connected to one of our care advocates. We do a lot in utility assistance, early childhood, as we're here to talk a little bit about today, and many others. But it's been great to be a part of this organization and see the impact that we've had, especially through COVID, where we were able to mobilize, over $30 million to get into the community to help families when they needed it most.
We talk so often about, especially at the holidays, that expenses for families go up so much and become a bit of a struggle, particularly for families that are trying to get by with the necessities, but also fulfill some of the more social obligations of those times of the year. And that similarly goes for the school year, but it actually is adding more necessities to the plate as they're getting their kids ready to go back to school. Not only is there a need for replenishing school supplies, but for these parents also, their kids aren't going to be home all day and not going to be at school all day either. They need to arrange for childcare. There are some programs, particularly in Wayne County, through the United Way of Southeastern Michigan, that help to bridge some of these financial gaps for families that may be affected. Can you tell us about Connect for Care Kids and how this can help families in Wayne County?
Yeah, and the programs that we're talking about really are available statewide. So they are not just in Wayne County, but Early Head Start, and GSRP, the Great Start Readiness Program, which is the state's 4-year-old program, are statewide offerings. But what we've been able to do in Wayne County, which really started with the city of Detroit in a partnership with the mayor's office, was develop a platform that brings all of the information that a parent needs to make an informed choice about their child's care into one spot. And so connectforcarekids.org allows you to find local childcare providers near work or home or wherever you want to seek care, answer a few simple questions to help determine which is the best fit given the age of the child, your income, some other factors. So you really know what you should be looking for. And then we help you get connected to providers directly. And so while we're not an enrollment system, we do get you connected to providers directly in Wayne County. They'll reach out in a matter of days to complete the enrollment process, answer any questions you may have. We also send you all of the provider's contact information. So if you want to reach out directly, you can contact them on your own time, but you've got all of that information really for the first time in one spot.
So typically, who qualifies for these sorts of programs? Is this open to really any parents and any families, or is it to certain families that are particularly in need of assistance and support with these sorts of services?
These programs are open to more families than ever. The governor has really taken great strides to expand the 4-year-old program. Again, that's the Great Start to Readiness program, adding thousands and thousands of seats across the state. The state has also increased the eligibility on the state subsidy. So if you do want to engage with a private pay provider, that eligibility based on income has gone up to 185% of the federal poverty level. And Head Start is around 100% of the federal poverty level. But the great news is you don't have to keep any of those numbers in your head. Connect for Care Kids does all the math for you. And so we'll ask you a couple of questions about your family size, income, and then again, spit out the answer of which of those programs is likely the best fit for you. So really trying to take the guessing out of it for parents.
And it's important to have these interventions too, because your child needs to have childcare after school. If you are still at work and there's not another guardian, a person in your family, a trusted adult that's able to supervise your kids, but also on top of it, these childcare facilities and childcare programs, particularly for after school, have important impacts on a child's development also.
Yeah, there's no greater time to start a child's education than from day one. And honestly, before that, prenatal care is absolutely critical. And so we got ways to connect folks to that as well. But, 90% of a child's brain is developed by the time they're 3. And so getting connected to these interventions and really early childhood education as quickly as possible, as early as possible, is a great predictor of long-term health and success. More likely to graduate high school, be employed, have better overall health, and just have a better chance to thrive.
So what is the cost benefit analysis sort of for these programs for families? Because on the one hand, they can work with people in their family or maybe some friends, maybe some neighbors to arrange for childcare afterward, or they can go to these facilities and these organizations that specialize in this, which tend to be a little bit more costly. So in balancing that out and trying to, not go beyond the capacity of your pocketbook to provide this critical care for your kids during the school year, and especially or even outside of the school year when you're just in your general work life, what is the benefit of investing and putting your kids in one of these programs through some of the interventions provided through the United Way of Southeastern Michigan?
Yeah, for a family of four in Michigan, childcare is the number one expense. When you look at technology, healthcare, transportation, food, childcare is the number one expense. It's about $1,100 a month to put an infant in care, about $700 a month for a 4-year-old. And so when you get connected to one of these no or low cost programs, a family could be looking at cost savings in the neighborhood of about $10,000 a year.
And that's significant.
Pretty big savings. So that's why we want to get as many people connected to these programs as early as possible.
In the past a couple of years in particular, during the pandemic, these programs have been available for a while, well before the pandemic began, but how much more have these programs been tapped into, or at least how much more traffic has there been to the United Way for Southeastern Michigan to assist in finding these resources over the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's the pandemic has really shown a spotlight on the need for this essential service and this type of care. And so when we first started this, we connected about 400 families in that first year of the pandemic. We're now averaging about 1,000 families a year getting connected to a provider, and that's just in Wayne County. We do hope to expand to Oakland and Macomb, recognizing just the massive amount of need out there. I'm a father of 2 young children myself, 2 and 4. And so I know the struggle personally, and I'm in the field, right? And so, a lot of information lives across different sites, and it's really critical for families to be able to go to one spot to find out, what is that best option. And that's what we've tried to do here. And again, the state has taken great strides to expand, again, the number of seats, increasing that eligibility. So we urge everybody to check. If you didn't think you were eligible previously, you may be eligible now. And we really urge you to get onto the site and check that out.
UnitedWaySEM.org is their website. That's UnitedWaySEM.org for more information. You just scroll over their resources link and click on early childhood resources, and it will get you in contact with the Connect for Care Kids program through the United Way of Southeastern Michigan. Joining us on the Megacast is Jeff Miles. He's the Senior Director of Economic Mobility and Social Navigation for the United Way for Southeastern Michigan. Joining us on the Megacast. We talk about cost to the families, and we talked and you mentioned a few times statewide interventions to help kind of curb some of those costs. What is available to families that are looking for childcare, are in need of childcare, but may need some of those cost savings interventions from the state? Who are those programs available to?
Yeah, no, there's early Head Start and Head Start, and those go from 0 to 3. The Great Starts Readiness Program is for 4-year-olds. And then the state subsidy is really for children of any age up to 12. So if you are looking for that out of school time or other types of care, you have a provider that is not part of Head Start or the GSRP program. As long as they accept that subsidy, you can apply for that benefit and help defray some of the cost of your care at a private provider as well. So these are longstanding programs. There's lots of research behind their effectiveness and the great start that it really will give children. So again, we have information on all of those programs on the site. You can go to connectforcarekids.org, and there's a whole FAQ section, descriptions of all of these programs so you can learn more. And again, get connected directly to those providers that you are interested in learning more about. We also have a great section there of about 50 questions you should ask a provider before you really enroll your child. And so what are their health and safety practices? What kinds of learning and developmental activities are they doing? And so we just really want to make sure that parents are going into these conversations with all of the information they should have.
We're joined by Jeff Miles from the United Way for Southeastern Michigan on the Megacast, talking about the Connect for Care Kids program through the United Way for Southeastern Michigan. More information can be found on unitedwaysem.org. That's unitedwaysem.org. Of course, the United Way is supported through generous donations from the public as well as people's time. If there are ways that people other ways that people can support the Connect for Care Kids program through the United Way for Southeastern Michigan and help support some of their neighbors in their local area, in their town, in their county, and even in neighboring areas here in Southeastern Michigan that your organization supports.
Yeah, help us spread the word. And that is critical. If you know anyone that's got a young child, now is the time to really be thinking about what you're doing in the fall. It's right around the corner. So we really need everyone to be thinking about that. If your friends, neighbors, aunts, uncles, cousins, anybody that's got a child that is 0 to 5, this program can really help you find that care. You can also text KIDS or kids to 42273. So if you don't have access to a computer, you just need something to remember to give them, you can text kids to 42273 and get started right from your cell phone via your texting app.
Well, Jeff, we appreciate having you on the program and all the information about this program through the United Way for Southeastern Michigan. It's important that families have access to these resources and know what resources are available in their community, especially as we're heading back into the school year. And that adds so many more impacts and expenses to the family's pocketbooks. Anything else for us on the Connect for Care Kids program or other programs going on or soon to be ongoing through the United Way for Southeastern Michigan?
Families across the state can go to greatstarttoquality.org. It has a lot of the same information. We use the data from that state system to inform ours. So anyone can go to greatstarttoquality.org, but connectforcarekids.org does have a bunch of other resources, including access to developmental screens, literacy interventions, and a variety of other resources. And it's the time to make a plan and make a backup plan. We have no idea what's going to be happening with the pandemic moving forward. And so just really appreciate you having us on to help get the word out and help families connect to this vital resource.
Jeff, appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.